Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is your host Carmina coming back at you with another card video. And today it's the turn of the Jack of Diamonds, the Prince of the Diamond suit. But before that, let me quickly remind you that there are a bunch of videos in this playlist about the cards of truth meanings. And also there is a playlist with more advanced meanings, including this video, and there's a playlist with more beginner videos where I do all the 4 suits in one video. So depending on your level or on your depth of knowledge of these cards, you can pick and choose what videos you'd like to watch from my playlists, okay? Also, if you like these cards that I'm using, they're part of a deck that I designed called Carmina deck, and you can buy your own deck from my website. I'll link it down below. Also, every month for the new moon, I give a deck away until I'm left without any deck, and that's gonna happen very soon because I really have only a few left on the bottom of the box. Okay, you guys, so Jack of Diamonds. Where should I put it so that we see it better? Gosh. Okay, when we see this cute Jack of Diamonds, what do we see? What is it that we see? Well, the Jack of Diamonds, being the 11th card of the card deck, of course, has the energy of planet Uranus. So it's something that is more shaking, that's more initiating. It's something deeply individual, something stirring things up a bit. And all the jacks have the within them, they have the ace, the twos, and the 3. So they have all these 3 stages: the potential, the coming together with something, and the flying apart and individualizing something. And this Jack of Diamonds is no stranger to that. The diamond suit is, of course, all about things of value, things of worth. What we find valuable in life, concrete value like money, like land, like jewels, but it can also be minerals, for instance, in a medical reading. It can also be physical appearance. It can also be a concrete skill that you are initiating. The Jack of Diamonds is really, a fan of the worth of things. It's like the so-called Salesman Card. When you see it in a reading, it can be a person that is trying to sell you something. It's a person that's very appreciative of something material or something concrete, and they're presenting it, they're making it shine in the best light possible. So they have very good ability to promote something. And then if the Jack of Diamonds is reversed, it can be someone who's trying to sell you something that's not so great, or it can just be, you as a salesman, or the other person that is about, in the reading, they can experience delays in developing these skills of selling something. As all the jacks, the Jack of Diamonds is also something more temporary. It's like seizing the moment, enjoying what you have now. It's not something more mature like the Queen or the King energy. So it's just good for more of a temporary pursuit. And I've seen the Jack of Diamonds also showing as employment. If you're looking for employment and then you get a Jack of Diamonds, it can be, okay, something in sales, something in promoting, something making things look beautiful, or it can just be something that is more temporary, like a temporary job, a temporary project. So you can see it like that in manual casts. Also, the Jack of Diamonds, of course, is our, if it's about yourself in the reading and you can see it as the Jack of Diamonds, is our capacity, our capability of really seeing the worth of things, of really enjoying earthy things, because of course the diamond suit is connected to the earth element. And if we consider the card system, we'll see that the underlying card for the Jack of Diamonds is the Three of Spades. So the Three of Spades, that's where the Jack of Diamond energy originates from on a more deeper level. So this Three of Spades, this flying apart from yourself, trying to see many options, taking a risk. So after taking a risk, then you can be a person that's more confident in what they have to show, what they have to give, what they have to present. And they can also offer it to other people, make other people feel worthwhile of having something shiny. And then the overlying card for the Jack of Diamonds is the Jack of Clubs. So that shows, okay, after this energy is matured of the Jack of Diamonds, then it naturally aspires, so this energy naturally aspires to become the Jack of Clubs. So initiating in a more concrete level, initiating something intellectual, a project, something education-wise, something clubby-wise, like something that you're inspired with, which is all about the Jack of Clubs. And it's something more individual because, of course, being a Jack itself, it has this Uranian energy, which is very individual. And now we are going to look at the what cards in the year, what days in the year corresponds to the Jack of Diamonds. So you can look at that for a simple day. So, okay, what day is today? What card corresponds? What is the energy of the day? Or you can look at your friends. If they're born on this day after sunrise at their place of birth, then it means they are Jacks of Diamonds. Okay? So this is the Cards of Truth yearly calendar designed by Andres Amoro with the cards from my deck. And here we see that on the 16th of January, on the 14th of February, on the 12th of March, April 10, May 8, June 6, and July 4th. So the 4th of July is a Jack of Diamonds day. Isn't that interesting? And then we have the 2nd of August. And that's it. These are the Jack of Diamonds days in the year. In this day, you'll feel, this maybe this energy more. And if you have a Jack of Diamonds in your own spread, in your own birth spread or yearly spread, in these days, it's more likely to get activated and something more significant to happen. So now let's check out the Jack of Diamonds as a birth card, and I'm going to pull up a random chart for a Jack of Diamonds. Okay, so what do we have here? This is the Queen quadration, the birth quadration for the Jack of Diamonds person. This is their birth card, and these are the 13 other cards that make up the full picture. And we are just going to be referring to the cards and not the placement of the planets. The planetary placement you can see here on the left side, upper left side of each card, and the cusps you can see here at the bottom right side of each card. So the cusps and the arrangement of these planets is going to be different according to your date, place, time of birth, okay? So this is just part of the picture. For the full picture, you need to look at your own birth chart. So let's see here what's happening. We immediately see that the path, the ecliptic for the Jack of Diamonds is the King of Spades. The King of Spades is a very heavy card. It has a Plutonian connotation of shattering, limitations, of ego shattering, but in a very painful way. But it is a fixed card, so it is gonna have lifelong repercussions, lifelong ramifications. So isn't it interesting that this more temporary type of energy, or this energy of seizing the moment, that is the Jack of Diamonds, it's on a path of making long-term changes. It's in the path of the King of Spades. And then let's look at the spread from Sun to Saturn, the cards from Sun to Saturn. The Sun card, their kingdom is a Four of Hearts. So they are kind of spiritual people. They are devotional people. I'm not sure if they would be the ones that really go to church and really like that, but they would have spirituality and they would really have a deep love for their family, because the heart suit also pertains to the family. So stability with their family and some of devotion in the heart is very important for Jack of Diamonds people. Of course, this card will be altered by the cusp that we see here, and also by the Lord of the card. So the Sun, that in this case is here in the Venus card, okay, with Mercury and Uranus. So be mindful of that when you make an interpretation. And then the Moon card is how they adapt to life, to the world. The Moon card is also their early upbringing. And for Jack of Diamonds people, unless there are some other things, like for instance here we see the North Node, which shows some confusion. But in general, for Jack of Diamonds people, they would have a stable early upbringing, they would have a stable family situation, a good, secure material security. And that is also how they adapt to life, how they adapt to changes, is by making sure that they are materially secure, making sure that they have a skill that is very concrete and practical, and all that good stuff. So we've seen two fours already, very people that tend to be grounded in the heart, grounded in the concrete earthly environment. Then the Mars card, that's a Two of Spades. That's a bit difficult because it shows some challenges in connecting to what they need on a physical and psychological level, like finding a cure, finding what they need. That's going to be challenging. Of course, it also matters where Mars, the planet, is. So if you know your own chart, also look at that card to make a full picture. The Mars card is also how they deal with conflict situations, and they deal with conflict because it's a spade by wanting to be more, alone in a way, keeping it to themselves. And that can be a bit difficult because we don't really want a 2 in the 3 position. We don't want an even card in an odd position, okay? Then we move on further. I guess by now you realized that we go from right to left, if this is the first time you see this type of card spread. The Mercury card is an 8 of Hearts. So how they communicate, how they manage their lives, how they find creative solutions to problems. And it's really by going within, by being self-validating emotionally. We see a lot of emotion in this Jack of Diamonds spread. We see this Four of Hearts kingdom they are building. We see this Eight of Hearts, self-validating. Ideally it would be a self-validating card, but until this person becomes more mature, their communication tends to be very emotional. So they tend to take things very personally and attach emotions to, things that should be more impersonal. So that's one thing. And we also have this Queen of Hearts here on the Saturn card. So it also depends how many planets they have here in this particular spread. We see Mars in this heart, we see Saturn, we see the South Node, we see Pluto here in the Queen of Hearts. So hearts are pretty emphasized. Since we started talking about it, this Queen of Hearts in the Saturn card shows how they deal with difficult loss. The Mars card was how they dealt with, some crises, some accidents, something unforeseen. This is how they deal with something, like a more chronic situation, like a death in the family or some long-term disease or like some really difficult things that can come up in life. And they deal with that by being mothering, by being caring, by being nourishing. And the Queen of Hearts on this Saturn card, it can also show that they are in service to a person that is the Queen of Hearts. So they are very, in service to their mother. They feel like they have to please their mother, make their mother happy, I would say. Now let's look at this Jupiter card, the Six of Clubs. Again, we don't like to see an even card on an odd placement, a 6 on a 5. Of course, Jupiter being here is going to help, but there's still going to be some difficulty with this Six of Clubs, with the validation for their work, their professional validation or their validation with their inspiration. That's going to be averted many times, and it's going to create frustrations, okay? And then we see on the Venus card the Six of Spades. So what makes them fulfilled is, being very well developed, very healthy physically and psychologically. Their own physical health is something that really makes them happy. That really makes them feel good. And they're attracted also in relationships to people that are a little self-sufficient. It also depends where the other spouse factors are for these people, but because the Venus card also shows what satisfies us in relationships, they can be satisfied with people that are, very secure with their own health, with their physical body. They're very, grounded with that, and more than grounded. They're like very enjoying their physical body and its capacity. Okay, and then we look at the nodes, the South Node, the North Node. The South Node card here, the Eight of Diamonds, is connected to something that they invested a lot in the past. Of course, to see the other half of the card, we have to check out the South Node planet here, and for this particular case, it's in the Queen of Hearts. But it doesn't matter where the other half is, all the Jack of Diamonds will have this Eight of Diamonds in this position. So they are very capable of bringing opportunities from within, of making things happen, of seizing opportunities and being successful. They have that capacity. And the North Node, what they need to work on is the making magical things happen with their inspiration, with their intellect, with their ideas, with their philosophies, with their friendship, with their social interaction, and receiving the rewards for that. That's the 10 of clubs. We already talked about the path. Now we're going to look at the outer planet cards. Because this birth card is a jack, the 3 of hearts is going to be very important for them, because this is the Uranus card and jack has the energy of Uranus. So this 3 of hearts is exploring things that you like, you know, moving from one passion to another. So it's a phase of exploration. That's something they can bring to the table on a collective level, and that makes them unique. The Neptune card is a new idea, the Ace of Clubs. When they get a new idea, when they have like this aha, like a potential little revelation, intellectual revelation, then they can connect, they can bond deeper to the collective, and they also feel, you know, kind of like a spiritual bond to like them getting like a new idea or something, like a potential intellectual thing that will also be like a spiritual experience for them. And the Pluto card, and that's what is difficult for them, that's something they invest a lot in, but they have to bruise their ego doing that, is the Queen of Clubs. So they want to be good at everything. They want to be, you know, managing a lot of things at the same time, a little restless, going everywhere, like super busy. But, you know, when they find themselves in that situation, or when they interact with people who are a Queen of Clubs or like a Queen of Clubs, then their ego gets a little bruised. They realize, okay, maybe that's not exactly who I am. Let's see what else is true about me. But it's always going to be painful, because they invest a lot in this Queen of Clubs energy. Okay? Okay, so that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed listening about the story of the Jack of Diamonds. Of course, again, I'm going to mention Cardex. Check out my website, carmina-amza.com. You can see there the classes I'm teaching, the readings I'm doing, and everything else. So I'll see you guys soon for a new video. I think there are only 2 videos left in this series, because we covered like everything. I think we only have the Queen of Diamonds and the King of Diamonds. If I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comments. And after we finish this, I think we are going to be looking at a different card spread. We're going to be looking at, I'm going to tell you when it starts, okay? Okay, so I'll see you next week. Bye.